I just want to go on record of saying really quick that I thought that episode 80 was a complete failure. I thought it was garbage. I thought that it was a horrible episode, and I'm totally playing, so don't take it personally. If you did, sorry, you got your panties in a bunch. That being said, how's it going, guys? My name is DFree. Welcome back to another review of episode 80 of Dragon Ball Super. I've been doing it since episode 1. I'm going to keep going, so I do appreciate the increased interest, I'll say, in my reviews. They've been getting a lot more views as of late as my channel has been growing, so I guess that kind of comes with the territory too, so thank you for that and the support and all that stuff. I know there are people that only watch certain content and there are people that only watch these, so it is what it is. That being said, let's talk about the episode. Now, Gohan went up against Lavender, whatever. He went up against him. It wound up being a tie, long story short. Now, in between there, all right, we're going to talk about what happened in between. It was really fun seeing Gohan because Goku's like, okay, well, this is going to be training for you, basically. Gohan gets in a situation where he gets poisoned, he's unable to see, and they let us know that the poison gradually is spreading around Gohan's body, and basically powering up into the Super Saiyan state does accelerate the spreading of the poison, so that was interesting. It basically put Gohan up against the wall. It's like, okay, well, you can't see, you know, and I assume that you can't really smell Lavender. Maybe you could, but he never really talked too much about it. But you can't see, you can't sense him, which is another thing in and of itself. So what are you going to do, right? So basically Gohan, prior to transforming to Super Saiyan, is like, okay, well, let me start hearing for his footsteps, basically. And then Gohan starts blocking him, counterattacking, all these different things. And it was really cool to see Gohan do that because it shows a different type of fighting. You know, so often in the show, we see these guys run up, power up, and just punch. You see that Gohan had to sit there and really look with his mind's eye, if you will, and strategize. He was like, okay, well, I have to do it this way because these senses were taken away from me. I can't do anything other than this. And he excelled with that. That was really cool to see, just that moment, because we don't see very many handicaps like that in the show. It was just a different thing that they could have portrayed for us. Gohan does transform. They start flying in the air. And actually, you know, this is something I wanted to talk about. Just kind of mention. I have a few things I want to kind of mention in the video. But basically, Gohan powers up. You know, Lavender starts striking him from the air prior to Gohan powering up. And one thing I wanted to kind of preface here is like, so what's going on with these guys from Universe 9? Are they using a godly key? Are they using some sort of other base key? Are they not using key at all? Does their universe just have some sort of different standard on what is considered key in Universe 7? Because it's really far-fetched and kind of fallacious for me, just like Gohan can't sense them, but this guy's literally flying, and anytime these guys have been flying in the series, for the most part, they've always been sensible, and otherwise, this guy is still sitting there shooting off ki blasts, or whatever they consider that in their universe, like I just said. He's shooting off energy blasts, and obviously, once again, it's another thing you can sense because you have to power up to do that, so it's like, what is this? What's happening here? I think God Key would be the most logical explanation, but at the same time, I think that that's a big cop-out, so I just think that's some sort of other variant type key, and we'll probably explore more into that in other matches in the tournament when the actual tournament starts via the other universes. So this is something to kind of keep an eye on. It was cool to see Gohan go up and go into Super Saiyan. For a moment before he went Super Saiyan, he had the white aura around him. I thought that was mystic. It probably wasn't. It was probably just a base power-up into Super Saiyan. I wouldn't read too deep into that. I don't think they're saying that, you know, Super Saiyan is stronger than Mystic or Ultimate. I don't think they're saying that. I just thought that he was just powering up. So it was cool to see that. And the choreography was really cool. I do enjoy this arc's animation. You know, the color palette that they're using for the arc. I do enjoy the way that it's all basically meshed together. And I'm really enjoying this Tournament of Power so far, the exhibition match. And moving on from that, another thing I wanted to kind of talk about here, after the tie between those two, it's basically broken down to us. You know, Zeno basically canvassed the universes and power scaled them, if you will. He ranked the universes in terms of power, and in doing so, 4 of the universes actually don't have to compete. Universe 5, Universe 8, Universe 12, and Universe 1, I believe, are the ones that don't have to compete because they're basically too powerful. And honestly, Zeno said that he was, or the Daishinkan has been relaying all this information. He said that Zeno actually was already at a point where he was like, okay, there are too many universes. I basically need to thin them out. There are too many life forms that I need to manage. And Goku proposing to him, excuse me, there's a lot of pops here. I can hear it feeding back. I don't have my pop filter on right now. But Goku basically proposing to him the Tournament of Power basically gave him a way to do what he wanted to do, to thin out these universes. So the strongest ones don't have to compete, and we find out that Universe 7 is actually the second weakest one, second to Universe... God damn it. Universe 9, I think, was the universe that they're fighting right now. Either way, they're stronger than the universe that they're fighting now, and like basically twice as strong. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. So I assume that Universe 6 would be directly above them. That's interesting to note. So the 4 strongest universes don't have to compete. All the other ones will compete, and they'll all compete for basically survivability. So if you lose, same rules as stated, you're still going to be gone. Everybody but the angels. I kind of thought that they would allow the gods to survive. So I'm happy that the Elder Kai did ask that, right? He was like, what about us? You know, what happens to the gods? And he was like, yeah, naturally, you'll all be dead. You'll all die. And we see the Supreme Kai and Beerus get into some quipping there. It was pretty funny. He's like, oh, no, this is your fault. You know, you always said they needed to learn how to do this on their own. And, you know, he's like, well, you're the one that's always sleeping. I do like the developing dynamic between these two ever since, like, the tail end of the last arc into now. They're starting to interact in different ways because you see that they're two people that kind of have to put up with each other because they can't get rid of one another. Obviously, the Supreme Kai doesn't have the power to do it, and Beerus, while he has the power, he can't actually kill the Supreme Kai, so they have to, you know, coincide. They have to live together, basically. Even though they may not see each other and actually live on the same planet, they have to deal with each other's existence, so they're kind of butting heads, which is pretty cool. Similar to, like, siblings or, like, a married couple or something. It was pretty funny. And then the funny faces those guys were making in the background was pretty cool, too. So, I honestly don't think, I still don't think that, you know, they'll actually kill all these characters, especially characters like Champa and his guys in his universe, like whoever's competing, Hit, Magetta, Botamo, Kabe, all those guys. I don't think they're going to kill all those characters off. I still think there'll be some sort of MacGuffin. I hope that it's not the Super Dragon Balls, but probably will be. That being said, that would be kind of an undermining of authority from Zeno. Maybe Zeno will just turn his back on and say, oh, never mind, they all perform valiantly, which I also don't expect because he's Zeno. He's kind of weird like that. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the episode. How fun was it for you to watch Gohan fight? As a Gohan fan, it was really cool to see that. I've always said so many times on videos that I don't care what version of Gohan it is. I just like to see Gohan basically get screen time, man, because I don't care if he's Scholar, Gohan, whatever he's doing, he doesn't have to fight. I just like to see him get screen time because I like to see his interactions there. It did kind of pain me how they basically removed him from the previous 2 arcs altogether. I mean, they gave him that one episode with Trunks and they moved him from the entirety of that arc until like the end. He's like, oh, Trunks didn't tell me he was going to go back and fight and all these other things, I can help, which obviously really didn't lead to too much. And then the previous arc, he was training and then he had to go to the conference and he just was completely removed. So I just like to see him getting screen time, to be honest. And I think that's why they did that, because they hadn't focused on him this whole series, basically. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on the episode. Did you have fun enjoying it? And any other predictions or anything like that? Quick note, I thought Gohan would lose. I kind of talked about that in my previous one. A tie is kind of the same thing to me. It's not a victory. It's kind of the same thing. So anyways, I'm going to get up out of here. I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning into the review. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like, all the other good stuff. And yeah, catch you later. Peace.